Hey, good evening. I'd like to call the North Aurora Village Board meeting for Monday, October 18th, 2021 to order. Please join me in a silent prayer and meditation. Okay, thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Gaffino.
Here.
Trustee Carroll.
Here.
Trustee Curtis. Here. Trustee Gately.
Here.
Trustee Lowry.
Here.
Trustee Nedved.
Here.
And Trustee Salazar. Here.
All right, thank you. I'd like to open the public hearing for the agreement for exchange of property by and between Randall Road Industrial Owner LLC and the Village of North Aurora. Anyone here to speak regarding that? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. To audience comments. Do we have anybody signed up? Just come up and state your name and address.
Yes, thank you. Can I take this off while I speak?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Mark Crosby. I live at 815 Astor Court. I sent an email out to the board late this afternoon. I'm sorry for the lateness of it. I really want solar energy. And by the code, my house is not eligible for it because my southern facing roof is to the front of my house. My neighbors across the street could have it because you can have it on the back or you can have it on a side pitched house, even a side pitched roof. Even if it is, you can see it from the road. It's just the front of the house. You can't have that. And my roof, I would be able to produce 100% of the energy that I need, which also helps the grid because it's a two-way street. Whatever I produce goes onto the grid. So it helps reduce the need for any other power plants. And that is what ComEd is sanctioned to do. And that's what the incentives just came out. I looked up each of your houses. I'm sorry, Google lets you do things like that. But as an example, your house has a large southern view. You're eligible for it. Yet, your house is not very good for it. You've got the multiple pitches on that. Your house, you can't have it, but your two neighbors can.
Interesting.
And that's what I'm saying is not fair. And we talk about ambience, and I understand ambience. We don't want trash, we don't want anything like that. But solar panels by the code have to be mounted flat to the house, flat to the roof. They can't be all different angles or anything like that. So it becomes part of the house and actually helps save the roof. I have here, if I could give you guys what my house kind of looks like. It was an estimate. And then I have some pictures of my house and then other houses. The three other houses that I have are all eligible for solar energy. And they have from the street, you see the panels. So my question is, what's the difference? I agree that a neighborhood, a street, the people that live on the street should be the ones that at least have an opinion and are able to say yay or nay. I have no problem. Should I be able to go to all my neighbors and ask them and give an affidavit with their signatures on that say they agree that I can have solar on my house, or any other neighbor that wanted it could do that? That gets rid of that got pushed onto us. because it's those members on that street, those people that live on that street are the ones that are going to be affected by it. You know, majority of you don't live in my neighborhood, so you're on the far side. I have a tree in front of my house, so you can't see in front of the house, depending where you're at also. So I'm asking, and I know it's short notice, but I'd really like to get this into my house. And the incentives there, the government wants us to have it there. And I'm on a fixed income now, folks. I just as soon have my energy bill set rather than watch as my neighbor puts it in, and then my energy bills keep going up. And so that's all I'm asking, is that you amend the code, that everybody on the street, or some percentage of the people that live on the street, if they sign to agree with it, that it is allowed, make that as part of the permit application. I don't think that's too much to ask. That's kind of all I have to say. Here's the picture things that I have. Don't have enough lot yet, so I did it with boards. And as you can see, that's what it would be on my house.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
That's kind of all I have to say. I
What are these-
appreciate your listening to me. Thank you for the time. Yes. ma'am.
What are these photos of? I don't see solar
Okay,
panels on
the
these houses.
one in the upper left is my house. That's the front of my house. Okay, the other three pictures that are on there are other houses taken today. And if you look at the pictures, that's their southern roofs that I took the pictures
So
of.
what is the purpose of giving us photos of homes with a southern exposure?
Because those ones that are on the angle is their southern exposure. It's not the front of their house. The difference is you would see the panels on their house just as well as you would see it on my house. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the difference. There's no difference.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I see these things popping up. I'm an appraiser, so I'm all over the place and I'm seeing them pop up all over the place. I mean, I don't personally have a problem with it as long as I've seen some that are attractive and I've seen some that are not attractively installed. So, I mean, I think it's something we should at least look at as a board, because I do think it is something that, it's becoming more and more common. I was out in Atwater out in Naperville today, and it's a newer construction development. And I saw probably 10 houses that had solar panels on them, and a couple of them were in the front of the house. And it
My
didn't
backyard
look obnoxious.
is the Batavia border. Batavia allows front of the house. Because my girlfriend owns the house with me, and we talked about it, and I took her out to take a look to see what they looked like. She's not the biggest fan of it, but we are also looking at the cost and where it leads, and supposedly what we are supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be interested in. I'm not a totally green person, not at all.
Steve, can you come back with something to the board and we can discuss it at another meeting?
Yes, so this is in our zoning code, so it actually requires plan commission review too, because you have to amend the zoning code to allow it. We looked at solar panels in 2016. We allowed them, and then with some regulations, and then we changed it about a year and a half, 2 years ago to allow basically 100% of roof, except for any portion that's facing the street or facing a corner side yard. You can have the rest of the roof with solar paneling. But as the gentleman said, it's not 100% of the roof. If you want it in front of your house, you can't do it right now.
I know I mentioned this to Mike Toth a month ago, and I know he was planning on bringing on different things about the green initiative through the winter here. We're going to discuss it. So thank you. You have good points, and
I'd appreciate
does make
I'd
sense.
appreciate if you could expedite, because, again, I'd
Yeah.
like to get into the incentives that are here right now.
Mhm.
Because I could put it on the side of my house, on my garage, but actually, if you look at the picture there, you'll see that my west side, my garage side, that roof is shaded 100%. I'd only be able, the max I could get would be 60%. And at that point, it's not worth me investing in it. So I appreciate it.
Sure. Sir, what direction does your house face?
My house faces south.
Uh,
South. So I happen to be one of those that, yes, my roof is ideal for solar because that's your best exposure. And like I say, everybody on the other side of my street, it would be in their backyard, so they would be able to have no energy bill. And if we talk about offensive site, that'd be almost offensive to me because they'd be getting it and I wouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. It's just not fair. It's just not fair. And like you allowed every other side except for the front, but the sides, and that's why I put those pictures. One of them is straight back of it, but it's a corner lot and you see everything. So.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, thank you very much. Okay, motion for consent agenda,
Motion, so moved.
Second.
discussion, for call the roll, please.
Trustee Curtis,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
yes.
trustee Nedved,
Yes.
trustee Salazar. Yes. Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Okay, item 1, Steve, new business.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a supplemental entertainment license B for Brother Chim Brewing. The board discussed this at the previous committee of the whole meeting. This is to allow live entertainment at his venue on Orchard Road. There was one stipulation that the board wanted to add to the ordinance, which is attached, and that is that if noise becomes an issue, that the board can revisit it. Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? For call the roll, please.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
Yes.
trustee Nedved,
Yes.
trustee Salazar. Yes. Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 2, John.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is the approval of a retroactive emergency expenditure authorization for well 9 in the amount of $22,432.05. The background to this item is that staff had been monitoring the well number 9 out on Feltus Lane for some time and had noticed that the production out of that well had been declining over the months, and just recently it had taken kind of a nosedive. So staff reacted and contacted the pump installation company Lane to come out and take a look at it. And in order to take a look at a pump, you're basically lifting a whole bunch of pipe out of a hole that's hundreds of feet deep, and the pump is at the bottom of that hole. So when it surfaces, that's finally when Lane can do an evaluation of the pump and determine if there's a problem with the pump, the pipe, or something going on in the well shaft. Staff thought that the pump being only a year old and most likely under warranty, that the expense would most likely be at the cost of the contractor, Lane, who'd be doing the work. What we learned when the pump was pulled is that the well shaft itself, one of the rock formations, was actually collapsing down in the well. So the shale stone was landing on top of the well, and it actually covered about 18 feet of the bottom of the well. And so that pump was pumping solids. So it was actually pumping rocks. And when the pumps get in there to cut to the pump, it causes a whole significant amount of damage. So right now, Lane provided us with some recommendations on how to repair the pump. Staff is also going back to the company that drilled the well, which was Suez, and just trying to do some research on how we can address this collapsed formation, whether it be some way to seal it off, whether we evaluate it and we determine that it's not going to collapse any further, or just something to do with the well, because some solution to seal off that formation. Otherwise, there's a good chance we could be back in the same situation if we drop the pump back in and continue to try to pump those solids. So the reason this is coming back retroactive is because we had anticipated that this work was going to be covered under the warranty, and we also wanted to address this issue fairly quickly because moving forward, we're looking at taking well 5 out of service as well to perform some maintenance. We've actually delayed that work until we could get this one addressed. So at this time, staff is requesting the approval of that retroactive expense in the amount of $22,432.05.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Trustee Salazar?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Trustee Nedved?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 3, John.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is the annual salt purchase. The price went down by 55%. It went from $96.25 from our last contract down to $61.98 per ton. I'd love to take credit for it, but I had nothing to do with it. I don't know why the price went down, and I can't explain why it goes up. I would have thought with supply chain issues we're having everywhere else that the price was going to increase. So I think on this one, we just are fortunate to have a good price. As usual, through this purchasing agreement, we're able to purchase up to 120% of what we're requesting. So it gives us the flexibility if we were to have a bad winter to purchase more salt. So I'm asking for the approval of an expenditure between $185,940 and $223,128, which would be our 120% allotment. The budget for this amount, for this item is $300,000.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? That's a good deal.
Great.
Trustee
Clerk.
Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
Trustee Nedved?
Yes.
Trustee Salazar?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 4, John.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is the approval of testing services for several projects. Whenever you begin a project, whether it be a sanitary sewer, a road program, or a storm sewer, there's tests that have to be done to determine the thickness of the pavement or the suitability of the soils, or just to make sure that they're not contaminated. So the materials testing in this contract would cover the sanitary sewer project on Cherry Tree, some future water main projects we're looking at Chestnut, Locust, and Spruce, and then also the Tanner Trails storm sewer project, as well as next year's road program. So for all the materials testing, this contract would be awarded to Testing Services Corporation, and the cost would be in the amount of $21,080.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Clerk call the roll, please.
Trustee Nedved?
Yes.
Trustee Salazar?
Yes.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item 5, Kevin.
I'm playing Mike Toth tonight for number 5. This was the subject of the public hearing, and we approved previously an ordinance that established the public hearing for tonight and the consideration of the land swap with Transwestern, who's the company who is developing the Oberweis site. And this goes back to when they came in seeking a special use for the development. Part of, they needed some village property to complete the pond according to the size requirements. It's a little piece of property that's actually in wetlands that the village owns. And the village also at that time noted that there was some extra property that would be helpful for the village to own near the well site along Randall Road. And so it was contemplated when we went through the staff review with the PUD that would make a good land swap. They needed the property to complete their development. And that's what we considered when we set the public hearing. Since that time, there was some further discussion about the property the village was going to get. And Transwestern agreed to provide more than what was originally contemplated, which was in the original resolution. So we're actually getting a little bit more property near the well site, and the location of that additional property is just beneficial for the village. So that's a change. It's a slight change from what was presented originally. So what you've got in your packet tonight, this has to go through a statutory process that's established by the municipal code. And we started that with the resolution to consider the land swap. Now we've had the public hearing. We didn't have any public comments, and tonight we can approve the ordinance that will authorize the land swap according to an agreement that was also previously provided to you that had been worked out with Transwestern. So nothing's really changed other than the name of the landowner, which is Randall Road Industrial LLC, which is the Transwestern company that's actually going to be doing the development and purchase the property. We need, it's an unusual vote. We need 4/5 approval on the land swap. So that means the mayor votes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Lowry,
Yes.
trustee Nedved,
Yes.
trustee Salazar. Yes. Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis.
Yes.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
Mayor Gafino.
Yes. All right, thank you. Item 6, Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 6 is approval of the 2022 annual contribution to IML RMA in the amount of $310,345.20. The village obtains its liability, property, workers' comp, auto, and other related coverages from the Illinois Municipal League Risk Management Association. This year, the increase to the normal contribution is 5.6%. That was due to increase in areas of auto liability and comprehensive general liability. So this was actually the first increase that the IML RMA had to pass on in the last 4 years. For the previous 3 years, they kept the amount the same despite increases in claims. They have an option to participate in what's known as the Min-Max program. This is where they will provide a 15% reduction in the village's portion of the loss fund. However, if our claim dollars exceed a certain amount of the loss fund, we're responsible for up to 130% of that loss fund amount. So essentially, it's a 2-to-1 risk reward program. Many years ago, it used to be a 1-to-1 risk reward program, and we used to participate in it with mixed results. But ever since they've changed that program to be a 2-to-1 risk reward, we decided it wasn't in the best interest of the village to participate in it. So the village is recommending that we pay the normal 2022 contribution less the 1% early pay discount. And staff still feels that IML RMA is providing the best overall value for the village's coverage needs.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
Yes.
trustee Nedved,
Yes.
trustee Salazar. Yes. Trustee Carroll
Yes.
and trustee Curtis.
All right, thank you. Bill's treasurer report, I don't have any. Trustee comments, anything?
Oh, yes, I have a trustee comment. So on the way here, I was thinking about our Christmas tree that used to be up on top of the silo or the Bremen Tower now. And I was thinking of something and, I was thinking outside the box of, is it possible to get like some type of hologram item that be flash up on that tower, Steve?
Yeah, we can look at the lighting consultants we use. I know when we talked about it, right now there are lights on top, and unfortunately it kind of gets drowned out. So we would have to see if there's any way they can project something up there. I don't know how visible.
Project on this tower?
Yeah, you're saying on top of the tower.
No, maybe on the tower.
On the side.
On the
On
side of the
side.
tower.
So I had an idea of like seasonal things.
Okay.
Maybe a pumpkin for fall, maybe a snowman for Christmas,
Even
maybe a
some type
beach.
of animation, I mean,
Yeah.
able to.
You know how you see about somebody's garage or going around the
Mhm.
neighborhood, and they might have pumpkins or Christmas trees at
Sure.
Christmas, and it just
I
kind
mean,
of
it just something I was
rotates a
thinking of.
design of some kind.
Yeah, we can definitely look into, I think we talked about that briefly with the lighting consultants when we first started the process, and it was something to do. They had some concerns with the roundness of the silo, being able to project things, but if
Mhm.
doesn't mean it can't be done. So we can surely see if they're still game to sit down with us and see what they can come up with.
It might be fun.
Mhm.
Be different up there, you see.
That's what I had.
I've even seen them where they have bricks and they're like falling, or they can do all kind of cool things. After a while, the lights are nice, but it kind of gets redundant every night. It's, Anybody else? Administrator report,
No report tonight.
those departments. All right, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. We'll begin committee of whole shortly.